Hi, I'm Arlene McIntyre, Creative Director at Ventura Design, and you are listening to Shut the Front Door, a light-hearted podcast that will bring you through the front door and into the homes of influential and interesting people. Home for me is one of the most important things in my life. My career has fortunately given me the opportunity to work closely with people and to help them create a home they will cherish forever. Glenda Gilson is one of Ireland's best-known personalities. After starting off her career as one of Ireland's top models, she has become the face of showbiz, having worked on high-profile shows such as Xpose, Ireland's Got Mór Talent, and currently Ireland AM. Not only that, Glenda is also a savvy businesswoman, having launched her own successful jewellery brand. Mum to the gorgeous Bobby and recent contestant on Celebrity Dancing with the Stars in Ireland, we caught up with Glenda in our Ballycoolan showroom. So thank you, Glenda.
Thanks for having me, Arlene.
It's so great to have you in here.
It's so great to be
busy.
here. It's, you know what, every time I come into these showrooms here at Ventura, I'm like, I love it all, but then I get very depressed as well because I'm like, I want it all.
Tell me all about you. You've had Bobby. You've had such a massive, big year.
Yeah.
A couple of big years, actually, for you.
Yeah, but this one in particular has been very busy. I suppose the end of Xpose and Bobby coming into my life, because obviously Xpose ended while I was on maternity leave, which was a bit of a bummer. But I'm on Ireland AM now, which is fantastic. And I suppose, you know, Bobby is my main thing now. So I suppose if that happened when I didn't have him, I'd be totally lost. But a job is a job. I know we all want a job and we're very safe in our jobs when we have one. But I suppose Bobby's my main priority, and I just love that I have time with him now. I'm also working, but I can get home in the middle of the day or, you know, later on in the day. So my job is all over this place at the moment, but it's all good. And
you've made it work. Like, you've just gotten into your groove, like we were talking about earlier. You just make it happen. You make it work.
You have to. And it's funny, you kind of have all these fears before the baby comes along, and you wonder, will I be the best mother? Will I be good at this? Will I be able for it? And you just manage, don't you? I don't know what it is in us that we just kind of get on with things.
I know. And also, like, the sleepless nights and the tiredness and all of those things. Like, you think, oh no, I can't cope without my 8 hours sleep. Like, you totally can.
Yeah.
You just can. Yeah. I don't know what happens, but
well, I always think if I was able to cope with coming in at 5 o'clock in the morning when I was out partying, my days of partying, and I was able to get up for work, you know, it's a lot easier than, you know, you're not getting up with a hangover or whatever, and you have this little gorgeous face looking at you in the cot. You just can't resist.
Yeah.
So
it's so worth it.
Yeah.
And does Bobby understand what his mommy does for a living? Does he understand?
I don't know if he understands it, but he looks at me on TV. So anytime I'm out and I'm on TV, I'll say to Rob, make sure he sees it. And Rob will bring him into the kitchen and he'll say, look, there's mommy. And he gets very excited and he can't believe it. Or if I come home and we watch something I did earlier, you know, like a pre-record, and I'm in the kitchen and I'm on the TV at the same time, he's like... Yeah. He's looking at me and looking at the TV and he's like, how is this?
Trying to make the connection.
Yeah, which is really cute,
that
you know?
Is so cute.
Yeah.
How old is he now?
He's 16 months now.
Wow.
And he's a big
tall
guy. Yeah, big hands, big feet.
Yeah.
Takes after his dad, thank God.
He's going to be tall.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And
tell me, Glenda, about your childhood home, because I want to chat to you today about all things to do with your home and your memories of your home.
Okay, well, in our house anyway, my mom was such a homely person, and of course my mom was always home, you know. She looked after myself and my brother, so home is where the heart is, as we all say. But when we used to come in from school, if my mom wasn't there, it was like, oh my God, where is she? You know, how dare she not be here? She was always there, and, you know, it was always, the door was opened by my mom. Like, my dad obviously was working, but I always had a lovely home life. It was very comfortable. It was very warm. And and I suppose that rubbed off on me. I love to go home. I love to close the door and be at home with Rob and Bobby now. And home life I love, and I still enjoy it.
Do you find you're kind of doing similar things that your mom did now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You kind of morph into your mother, don't you?
Totally.
Without you even realising it. Like, I say these things that my mother says and I'm like, I can't believe I just said that. You know, years ago when I'd be coming in from places and she'd be giving out to me, and now I'm saying those things, and I'm sure I'd probably say it to Bobby now as he gets older.
Your mom is such a lovely woman.
Yeah, she is.
Does she love Bobby? She just dotes on him.
Yeah. Absolute. Her he's her favourite person in the world. Now, my brother has just had a little baby girl. So there's another grandchild in the house. So my mom thought she'd never be a grandmother. And then she got a boy and a girl.
Feast her family.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
amazing.
she's really happy. Poor old Bobby isn't too happy with this new little girl in his life. And every time we tell him to have a look at little Frankie, look, here's your little cousin. He looks at the ceiling. He looks anywhere else but her.
Cute.
So.
And what was your teenage bedroom like when you were a teenager? What posters did you have on your wall?
What posters did I have on my wall? I'd say good-looking men were the posters I had on. I remember back in the day, Bros. Oh, yeah. If you remember those two. I had those on my wall. Luke Perry, he's not with us anymore. He died recently.
90210.
Yeah, I loved him. He was gorgeous. So he was on my wall. But then I kind of got rid of all that, and then it was into interiors. I was always into interiors.
Really?
I always loved to move my bed around and, put in little bits of furniture that I could take from somewhere else in the house and kind of do it up and change it around and that continued for years. Also, my dad is kind of in the decorating business, so anytime that I could, I'd get him to change my wallpaper. He used to think I was mad because I'd go for these bright oranges, and then the next year I'd go for dark blacks, and then I'd go for a stripe.
Creative.
And then I wanted paint on the wall. And this is back, Arlene, when my dad was like, you can't have paint on the wall. It has to be wallpaper in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And that caused a bit of controversy. But he did it and he enjoyed it. And he said, yeah, I get it. But then I'd be sick of that. And 10 months later, I was like, Dad, will you change it again? And he's like, you keep me on my toes,
Did you ever paint yourself, the walls?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. And I used to put the overalls on and go out and paint with my dad during the summer. For doing jobs, helping him out and hanging out with my dad. I don't know if I did much I was always into art in school, so I kind of have a steady hand, and it's the only thing I was good at in school. In fairness, I got an A in my art and my leaving. Everything else was, I failed home ec. So yeah, you can see I was probably better at the art than I am as a mother and a wife cooking in the house. Thank God I met Rob, because he's a great cook. But I'm a good scrubber. I can clean the house well.
And what is your style, Glenda? Do you think you're a classic girl? Are you like a modern girl? Are you kind of classic contemporary?
I think kind of everything.
Bit of everything.
I like everything. And then I like an eclectic mix of things, but I don't know if I'd put that in my own home. Yeah. Like I have a friend
That's very true.
That if you go into her house, nothing matches. And she kind of gets pieces from everywhere in the world she has travelled to, and she kind of, whether it be a little elephant that she's bought somewhere or a vase or a lamp or something, but nothing matches. And I think it's really cool, and she's done it in a really tasteful way, but I don't know if that would be for me. So yeah, I do like neutrals and then like to work on top of it, if you know what I mean.
Layer in.
Yeah, like maybe
pieces.
A colour on a painting or a cushion. Colour on a cushion on a couch. I don't think I'd go for a bright coloured couch. I might do that with the accents of colour with a cushion.
Yeah, so you like that calming feeling when you come into your home. You don't want to feel like you're sitting in a restaurant or
bright colours. Even though I said that to you back in my teenage years, I had my whole room orange, which I remember people saying, you cannot sleep in a room that's orange. I did it. Maybe that's because of my teenage years. We slept like nothing on earth. But I wouldn't do anything like that now.
I know. And colour really impacts our lives.
Yeah, and if I went into someone's house and there was a red wall and a purple wall, and some people like to do that. I watch a lot of interior shows, home design shows, and I see people going, okay, I want pink in this room or blue in this room. I'm like, no, don't do it. Yeah. Keep it neutral, because you'll have the paintbrush out or the decorators back in because you'll get sick of it. So you need something that works with you for years,
Exactly. And I'm not sure in Ireland if the light can actually take all those really strong, super bright colours.
We don't really have much light in this country.
You gotta take it easy.
So I don't know, does it work? Maybe it might work if you were in a sunny climate, but we don't have that here. So
no, exactly. And how do you relax in the evenings when you come home?
How do I relax?
How do you chill?
Well, I suppose that all happens after Bobby goes to bed, because before that, it was always you come in, you look after yourself, you sit down on the couch. Now, you never really sit down. It's kind of Bobby goes to bed and then I kind of get everything ready for him the next day. But I suppose myself and Rob, either just sitting down either having a meal together, a glass of wine together, or watching a movie. I know that watching a movie or watching Netflix, you mightn't talk, but I always enjoy a good program to watch, something on TV, and something that I come in the next day and it's like, are we watching that tonight?
Yeah,
What one? Are we watching 2 episodes tonight?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so that is my way of relaxing. Obviously holidays and everything is great, but in the evening time to unwind and to get off my phone is...
Yeah, because you travel a lot.
I travel a lot, yeah.
So when you're away and you're traveling, do you miss your home?
Yeah, and I hate being on my own. I know
Yeah.
that sounds... I love my me time, obviously, but like Rob gets phone calls from me and it's like I'm in Australia and at the end of the world, you know. It's funny though, over the years, if I leave the house and I'm going to London, I kind of get a little bit homesick, even though I haven't left yet. And then if I go to New York, I'd say to him, I'd wave, bye. And he's like, you're going thousands of miles away
That's
to New York.
crazy.
And you're fine about it. Why, when you go to London, which is only a jump,
Yeah.
it's just something about New York. You can be on your own. You can get out of a hotel and walk the streets. You know, people just leave you alone or they say hello, you know. Where London, I find, can be a little bit... It's big and it's...
Yeah.
You can kind of be lonely in London, where in New York, there's people walking by. How's your day going? And you're like, I love this.
The people are so different as well. Like everybody just engages with you.
Yeah. So, I love my home. I love to get home. And a lot of flights I get on to, if I miss a flight in Heathrow and I'm sitting there and I know it's the last flight, the panic sets in because I always love to get home. I don't mind where I'm going, but as long as I get home. Or Rob comes with me.
Totally. And we were just like this the other day when we were trying to come back from London.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my God. We were in the taxi, like, we've got to get this flight. We've got to get home. And I wanted to get home before Ali was going to bed.
Of course.
And it's a horrible feeling that you're not going to get home.
Yeah.
And it's just the best
like even
to wake up in your own bed.
When I was doing Dancing with the Stars there for a while, like I was Ireland AM in the morning. I did 7 hours during the day of practice, of rehearsals. And I used to keep looking at the time and I'd say to my dance partner, please, can I go home? Because I need these hours with Bobby to feed him. And Rob is usually the one that gets into the bath with Bobby and it's Bobby and Daddy time. But it turned into mommy and Bobby time because Rob was with them during the day. I wasn't, I was gone. So I used to want to get home, to feed him, to spend a little time and then into the bath. And then I'd get him off to sleep and back out to rehearse again. So that was a killer.
Tough.
And then you come into the house, I'd come back home at 11, 11:15 at night, and Rob is asleep. The house is in darkness and I'm wired to the moon because I've just been dancing for 2.5 hours. So that, at least I was home though.
That was an incredible experience, but no doubt super difficult and challenging,
hard.
I'd imagine.
Yeah, so hard. Like there was a lot of tears, Arlene, I won't lie. There was, because you're putting yourself in a situation where you're not used to, you're challenging yourself. There's mirrors all over a studio and you know yourself, we do things in life like our careers because we're good at them and that's why we stick with them and we like them. But if I was to just pull you out and put you into something else now, I might panic.
Of course.
And I think at this stage of my life as well, I just had Bobby. I hadn't been back to work yet. And next of all, I was on live TV dancing. And I'm not a dancer. And the only time I would dance is with maybe a few drinks on me. So, and you don't have that when you're in Dance with the Stars.
Oh, you were amazing, Glenda.
Oh, I don't know about that.
But what was it like? How did it feel? Like was your heart literally beating out of your chest?
Yeah.
Was it good adrenaline or was it?
It was brilliant. And then it was up and down. That's the only, I felt so vulnerable. After a dance, you're standing in front of 3 judges and they're saying, you know, your legs weren't straight. You know, you bent knees. So the next time you do the cha-cha, keep your legs more earthy and into the ground. And I'm looking at them going, I'm never going to do a cha-cha again. Like, I'm hardly going to go into a nightclub and start cha-chaing around the place. It's not going to happen, you know? So I'm like, and you kind of, the minute that dance is done, you move on to the next dance. So you never relive the chat, you never meet it again. So
I know.
It's serious. But when you leave it, you kind of look at it as well. And I was only speaking to Brian Dowling yesterday about it. And he said, I'm watching it saying, did I enjoy it enough? Or should I have been that serious? And it's like, we do these things afterwards, you know, but when we were in it...
He was great as well.
He was great.
I loved him as well.
Absolutely. And one thing that I took away from that is meeting so many beautiful people and getting such friendships there. Myself and Mary Kennedy were in Ardmore and the two of us were there, like 2 yokes is the only way I can say it, with hair and curlers, half makeup on, probably one eye done, and we had dressing gowns and the two of us were drinking coffee. chatting away. And Lottie comes over past us and I said, Lottie, where were you? And she was sweating. And I said, what were you doing? And she says, oh, I was just warming up. And I looked at Mary and Mary looked at me and we were like, did you warm up? And it's like, I don't even know how to warm up. You know what I mean? Where she'd get in and go, right. Or we'd all go, oh, do we have to dance today? You know?
Yeah.
So,
but you were in, you signed up. It was tough. There was no
tough,
way.
And you did it. But hey.
Yeah, honestly, fair play. Fair play. I really have to say, I had great admiration for you for doing that, for putting your neck out there, because it's not easy.
It was tough. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, I have to say. But I'm glad I did it, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so your morning ritual, Glenda, what do you do when you wake up in the morning? How does it all begin for you?
Well, it's usually a little screech or a shout from himself in the cot telling me to get up. Now I'm woken up. I don't have to set an alarm anymore. Isn't that gas? Back beforehand, I used to be like setting 3 alarms to wake me. Now it's like, I don't think you even sleep anymore. So I have that little guy waking me up first, and then I'd usually head downstairs. Coffee is a big part of my life. So coffee is the first thing the kettle's put on. And I love breakfast. Breakfast to me is a very important meal. Back again, a couple of years ago, you'd never catch me eating breakfast. But now I find it just sets you up for the day. So yeah, I'm literally...
Do you take good care of yourself? Are you into your health? I know you're into your fitness. But do you eat well as well?
People think I'm fitter than I am, and I'm not. I go to the gym once a week with Paul Byrne. He's my trainer, and I've enjoyed him for years going to him. But I kind of even just enjoy getting to be with him for an hour and chat to him. And it's since I've had Bobby, I realise why I like the gym now. Like the gym, I just said I didn't like it. Why I still go to the gym, let's just say, is because I could go in like a ball, you know, a lot going on in my head. And then you just come out.
Yeah, de-stress.
Totally relieved, and feel so much better about yourself. So I do think it is important to get the blood flowing, whether that is out getting a bit of fresh air and walking.
Yeah, but you're a Duracell bunny. You just need to
I never stop. Yeah. So like it's a little bit, the last while has been a bit cold, but my mom, in fairness, has taken over and she brings Bobby for walks now, which is great. But the summer months come in, I'll start getting out again and with the dog. Yeah, Yaz is great.
And how is Yaz with Bobby, by
Brilliant.
the way?
She is absolutely brilliant. And Bobby, every time Bobby walks by, if Bobby gets annoyed with something, Pearl Yaz would get a slap or...
Oh, really?
Yeah, and everything. And Yaz just takes it. Or the latest thing is Bobby now just throwing himself on Yaz. And you always have to be on alert, because you don't know what way a dog will react. But I don't think Yaz even knows how to bite. I know that she's a dog, but she just has...
She's got great little temperament.
She's the best. She's great. Obviously, she doesn't get the attention that she used to get, but... When Bobby's gone to bed and everything, I always have those moments with her and try and, you know, tell her I'm mad about her, and it's all about Yaz and the treats and everything. But, you know, she wouldn't get the walks and the attention like she used to, because it's busier in the house,
hard.
You know? Yeah.
Like this morning I got up early and I waited for our childminder to come, and I brought my two for their walk.
Yeah.
Just to make them feel kind of like this was the three of us, like the old times, and we had an amazing walk. They were loving it.
It's so good that you do that.
Boo kept looking up at me like, Jesus, is this really happening?
Yeah, you're back.
You're here.
Did you get rid of that thing in the
What is that thing in the pram? It's so cute.
How are your dogs?
They're like babies. Oh, they're so good. And they're really good with her as well.
Yeah, which is so important.
Yeah, they kind of sit each side of her and they're very protective of her.
That's the thing.
It's amazing.
When Bobby was a lot younger and I'd have him in a different room asleep, Yaz used to come in and just look at me. And I could be in the kitchen and Yaz would sit there and I'd say, hi, Yaz. And then I might just continue reading the paper, whatever. And then I'd look again and go, oh, you're trying to tell me something. And I'd go into the other room and there's Bobby awake. Oh. And it's Yaz telling me. Or if Bobby goes up the stairs, Yaz is in front of her and Bobby's like this, trying to move her out of the way, but Yaz is protecting her the whole way.
That's so nice. And they're at the perfect age, because she'll be at the perfect age when Bobby's 6?
Yeah. So hopefully
nice. And are you a spiritual person?
Am I a spiritual person? I don't know. Yes, probably. I have a friend that is so spiritual. And I love being around him. And every time I'm around him, he kind of, I don't know, he speaks to me and he's asked me about it's funny when he arrives in, he's like, everything okay? I can see an aura around you. And I always think he's this angel that came from somewhere, because I'm like, really, Robbie? What are you talking about? An aura? And he's like, no, I can just see. Or he's just one of these, he's very spiritual. The odd time he might give me a certain stone or a certain little bracelet and say, this is for luck and this is to look after you. And, you know, when Bobby was born, the little things he said to me, he just kept saying, listen to Bobby. You don't tell him, you listen to him and what he has to say. And I'm like looking at the child going, he's not speaking. He's like, I know, Glenda, you have to look past that. But
he's a little teacher.
Yeah, I don't know if I am, but I do love to be around my friend that's spiritual, and you feel just better about yourself. And when I speak to him, he always thinks something happens for a reason.
Yeah.
So if I say to him, this happened in my life, and it might be a negative for me, he turns it into a positive. And he's like, no, this happened for this reason.
For sure.
So, and it's a lovely way to be.
Yeah, there's timing and everything happens for a reason. Yeah. And for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if your house was on fire and you had to save 3 things in your home, what would those 3 things be?
Besides your family and your dog and all that. I actually...
And you had 5 minutes to think about it. Like you had, a decent amount of time to think about the 3 things.
You got me now, Arlene. I don't think anything is as important to me than my own, your own flesh and blood, your own family that you've... So what would I take with me? I don't think I even...
Passport?
Yeah, but I even remember where that is.
Mobile phone?
Yeah, don't you know? They're the things
that would already be outside, I'd say.
A pair of boots that I like, my mobile, and probably my passport so I could go somewhere else. Yeah.
Car keys?
You got me on that one now, big time. Car keys.
Yeah.
What would you get?
Well, I've asked this question to a few people, and I think for me, it's probably some photographs that I know I'll never get copies of again. So I would probably scoop those in if I could and just grab them. Definitely my mobile for sure.
Yeah.
So I could ring everybody and tell them what the hell is going on.
And that's your life, is in there.
My life would probably be in the phone, exactly. So photographs, phone, I don't know. Passport.
And you forget how sentimental photographs are because we're so used to the phone now. But a friend of mine lost her mother about 10 years ago, and she goes around with a picture of her mom and her wallet. And her wallet, she got out and her car was broken into and the bag was taken and the wallet was taken, and she put it up on Facebook and she said, look, this is the area I was in. I don't want anything back. I just want that photo of my mom, and she doesn't have it. And that's a killer, where even the old photos, I tend to take a photo of the photo now so you have everything, because...
Great idea.
We were always holding on to these little
photographs.
Imagine. And it's like, take a photograph of the photograph so you have it,
Yeah. Yeah, and the sentimentality behind all of those things. It's so scary. We should probably put them all in a safe.
I need to put more photographs around. You just reminded me of that. Instead of being on my phone, and it's flicking through.
Yeah.
The way the odd memory comes up and you see a photo and it's like, oh my God, I forgot about that.
You should. Yeah. Or even have like a photo wall. I think that's a really nice thing to bring into like kitchens or hallways.
And people are always interested
like a family
in
wall.
them. Yeah.
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 Because they're really nice.
Especially with Bobby around. Like, we're taking photographs every day, but sorry, that's me, every day, but then they'd be nice to be displayed.
And do you entertain a lot? Like, would you have friends around your house a lot?
I would, yeah. I obviously it isn't so much since Bobby came along, but for a takeaway, I'm not a cook. Rob is the cook. So if we were doing that, it would be lunchtime gig. We'd invite a few friends around just for chats and catch up. But yeah, a lot of the time for drinks and a takeaway, we'd have people into the house. But yeah, I love to entertain in my house.
And what do you pull out for those occasions? Like, do you have like special glasses or dinnerware, or is there anything that you just pull out, or are you kind of very chill and relaxed?
I'm kind of very chilled. I'm the sort, I always laugh at my mother because my mom gets something and she puts it away. And I'm like, what are you putting it away for? And she's like, because something special might be coming up. And it's like, you could get hit by a bus, touch wood, she doesn't, but you could get hit by a bus and you never, and the odd time I see her going, I forgot about that cardigan I bought her, so it's like, Mom,
wear it, get
it out there.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of the sort that, some people will get a beautiful Ventura candle and they'll keep it up. It's like, no, light it and enjoy it, you know?
Yeah.
So no, the only time I suppose things come out that wouldn't come out throughout the year is at Christmas.
And that was my next question.
Yeah,
so how do you spend Christmas at home? Is it at your home or at your parents' home? Or
it was always at my parents' home, but it's now the last 2 years it's at myself and Rob's home.
So do you do the real tree, the artificial tree? What's Glenda's tree like?
I love the artificial tree because it's perfect.
Yes,
and
of course.
You can kind of bend the branches into what way you want. I love the smell of the real trees, but I hate the way that they look like they've just had an electric shock, some of them, you know, you know, unless you go up to the mountains in Canada and pick out a gorgeous tree. But Rob loves the real trees. So we've had to
compromise.
Yeah. So I have my artificial tree and then we buy a little fat, small real tree and we put that in the other room. So there's probably about 4 trees in our house. They're all artificial bar that one. And I'm like, I hate the way they all shed and they droop. But look, Rob likes the smell of them, so.
And do you decorate them in different kind of colourways or do you keep them all the same or what are they like?
Well, I've one tree that's kind of red and silver. And that's my first tree, the decorations that I've been, you know, that have been there since myself and Rob met. And that kind of is a Bobby tree as well, because I've all different things since he came along and his name and, you know, different things like that. And then the other tree that I have is kind of gold and silver. So Bobby's not allowed to touch that one, you know? And I've always been a bit of a stickler like that. Even when I lived with my mom and dad, I always did the Christmas tree. No one was allowed to touch it. It was like, I'll do it. Or I'd leave the room and I'd come back in and I'd say to my mom, did you put that decoration there? I could actually see where she put it. And I'd move and she'd go, how did you know? And I'm like, just get out.
You are super creative then.
Yeah, I like everything to be perfect.
Yeah. A lot of your business connects and goes back into social media. So do you find that's a really big part of your life?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
You gotta be on it or you're pretty much known these days with that. And I know that's probably, some people might think that's an awful thing to say, but I see people that have been in business for years, makeup artists, and they've no interest in social media. They like what they do but they're getting nowhere because they're not on social media, which is kind of
you got to get yourself
but
out there.
You have to. But the benefits of it as well is when you're not working, you're still out there. You're still putting yourself out there. So, you know, it's not just people
you have to
see
connect.
you. You have to. And I suppose it's a great way of people getting to know you and you can put yourself out there the way you want to be portrayed instead of someone. I suppose in TV, for instance, if I'm on Xpose, it's scripted. You mightn't see the real Glenda until you see me interviewing someone. You might see a bit of my personality, but you'll definitely see it if you follow me on Instagram or, you know, because I'm doing what I want to do.
Yeah, and it's such a great outlet for you in every way for your
of course,
Ireland AM slot and for your business.
Yeah.
For just everything.
For everything, yeah. And I find a lot of people want to know what you're wearing these days. So, you know, anytime you step out or take a photograph, they want to know where you get your eyebrows done. They want to know what you wash your hair in. Like, it's bizarre.
It's crazy, but it's really
bizarre,
great though that you can actually, you know, contact these people.
And
or
we
they
can all
contact
do it, vice versa. Like if I see someone take, like Vogue, for instance, and she takes a photo and then I'd say, how are you? Where'd you get that top? And straight away she's back to me and she'd say wherever. And it's like, great, I can get my hands on that too. So I think that's what people want.
You're, as you say, you're in control of your own message.
Yeah. And people can, you know, there's bad sides of that as well, that people are so accessible that they can say what they want. You know, we're going through that at the moment as well, trolling online. But
I saw a lovely post you put up recently about kindness.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really nice.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts behind that at the time?
Just because it was like, it's easier to be rude. This was like, to be rude, you don't engage. You just kind of look away. But to be nice and to speak up and to talk to someone, it takes a bit of an effort, but it will be so much nicer in the long run. And if we were all a little bit nicer, like, you know, a few bad things have happened in the last while in media, and I think that was, you know, people need to stop and realise that you're not just a a person behind a computer. People can find out who you are, and we all have feelings, and you got to be nice to one another. And I think it's so important. It really is.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Glenda, I love your necklace. I've been admiring it throughout the entire interview.
Thank you. It's my star sign. This is from my collection, G by Glenda.
Fish. You're a Pisces.
So I'm a Pisces, yes.
That's
it's actually
cool.
my birthday tomorrow.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
My last year of my 30s, so I'm going to enjoy this one.
Definitely. How are you celebrating your birthday?
Myself and Rob are going to go away for the night, so yeah, just to spend some time. My mom is going to take Bobby.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we can kind of enjoy our food and a glass of wine and sleep.
And sleep. That's the biggest luxury. So Glenda, who is the most amazing, or not amazing, but the most interesting person?
I interviewed Trump, would you believe?
Go on.
Got a call from his people. He wasn't president at the time now. From his people asking me, would I like to interview him? Because he found out that I was about to get married in his hotel. And they probably knew this was kind of a good thing to do, you know, because I was probably known in Ireland and he's coming in. So I said, yeah, I'd love to. So I told Rob, and Rob said, no problem, I'll drive you down. So the two of us headed off from Dublin, and I'm researching the whole way down the car. And I came across a piece of information, and I said, I better tell Rob that. Rob, I think, was on the phone, and I said, I'll tell him after he gets off the phone. So anyway, that piece of information slipped my mind, got to the hotel. These people met us and they said, okay, Mr. Trump will meet you. Go into one of the rooms. And we went into the golf part of the hotel, and we went through one door, and they told us to wait here, that Mr. Trump would come through the door on the other side of the room. And I said, that's no problem. So myself and Rob just stood there, and next all the door opens and Donald walks towards us, and I remembered that point, and I said, oh, Rob, he doesn't like to shake hands, don't shake his hand. And just turned away while he's still walking towards us. And Rob looked at me and said, shut up, of course, you have to shake someone's hand. No one does. I was like, he doesn't shake hands. So he arrived towards us. And
he's like a germophobic, isn't he?
So the two of us had our hands by our side. And Rob, the first thing Rob does is the hand out. And Trump actually put his hand out. So Rob kind of looked at me as if, and shook his hand. And then I shook his hand, and he said, great to meet you guys, and you're going to get married here, and Glenda, we're going to do an interview in a while. And he said, I just wanted to meet you. Brilliant, see you in a bit. And he turned around and took a sanitizer out of his back pocket and cleaned his hands while he was walking out. It was like, I said to Rob, see? He's like, well, at least he shook our hand.
And what's he like in person?
I have to say he was very nice. I've been asked this question before, and people didn't like my answer because I said he was very nice, and they were dying for the womanizer bit, and I find him quite charming. You know, that's not what I might feel when I hear him speaking or things he puts up on Twitter. But when I met him, yeah, he was very nice, and no question was out of bounds. Like, he spoke about his family, mad about his sons and his daughters and his daughter, and yeah, I really liked him.
Yeah, I've heard positive things. Yeah. Like, I've heard equally positive and equally as the negative about him. So, yeah. And was she with him, Melania, at this stage?
No, she wasn't. He was there with the daughter and the two sons. So, yeah.
And is he very tall?
Yeah, exactly what you...
Does he wear a lot of false tan?
I don't know what that colour or what that is.
And who is like the most amazing person you've ever in your life interviewed?
I met Meryl Streep, and I was dying to meet her. And I met her in London, in a hotel in London. It was for a junket for some movie. And I met a lot of people, and a lot of people that I would admire, you know, in the film world. And she was one I hadn't met. So I was really excited about it. Went into the room, and it just came up on Sky News that there was shootings in Paris. Do you remember all that?
I do.
And I sat down, and you sit down as even closer. Your knees are nearly touching the star. You're that close because the two cameras on you. And when I walked in, she said, did you hear what just happened in Paris? And I said, no, or yes, I can't remember what it was. And she said, do you mind? And she turned on the TV, and the two of us sat there watching the TV. So now you usually get 3 to 4 minutes chat, and I'm looking at Sky News going, is this eating into my interview time? But here I was looking at the TV going, okay, great, I'm watching Sky News, and myself and Meryl are talking about But thankfully we watched the headlines, and then she switched it up, and she's like, okay, we'll do this interview now.
Is she a total pro?
She was fab and everything. There was a lovely motherly feel about her, and everything she said, I said, she did this with her head to encourage me. She kept nodding her head to encourage me to keep going.
Yeah.
Which I really loved. Another person who was like that was David Beckham. I met David Beckham, and when I walked into the room, he stood up and he walked towards me and shook my hand. Now I know people are like, so he stood up. No one usually. Some people are like this on their phone until the cameras say rolling, and then they go hello.
Good
and
manners.
He stood up, shook my hand, and he was another one. Every time I spoke, he was like, and he kept encouraging me to go on.
Sweet.
And I just,
really?
and I remember and every time I see David Beckham on, because I follow him on Instagram or I see photos in the newspaper, I'm always like, there he is, that
Nice
gorgeous guy. And I always fancied him for,
Did you ever meet Victoria?
Never met her.
Yeah.
And she's been to Dublin so many times, and I just never got the interview. One of the other girls always got it, which I was raging about. But
you'll get her.
I always liked her. She was my favourite Spice Girl as well.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because she wasn't much of a dancer or anything. Yeah, I always loved her style, her fashion. And
I like her.
Yeah, I do. And I like her kids. I like that whole family bond that they have. And So.
What inspires you, Glenda? Like, People inspire you.
I love talking to people. I love finding out about it. Someone asked me this question recently, and I said, I love talking to people. And usually the madder the person, the better. Like, I hate that we're all, when someone's like, oh, that person's a little bit crazy. I love it. It's like,
it's a challenge
if we're
for
all
you.
too samey, this would be a very boring world. So I think that we learn from one another. That's why it's important to be kind to one another as well, because we can help each other. But
just to try and understand each other. Yeah. Like you said, we're not all the same.
And we're human. We all mess up sometimes. So someone might have been there before you, so they might give you a few tips on it,
Exactly. Okay, so Glenda, just a few podcast quickfire questions.
Okay,
bath or shower?
Shower.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Bedside, left or right?
Left.
Which goes on first, bra or underwear?
Underwear.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Red or white?
Red.
Taxi or walk?
Taxi.
Home or abroad?
Home.
Eat in or take out?
Eat in.
Text or talking?
Text.
Kanye or Donald Trump?
Oh my God, the two of them are awful. Kanye.
Well, Glenda, thank you so much for
no worries.
your time today, and it's been amazing talking to you.
And to you, Arlene, as always, thank you.
And wishing you all the best.
And to you.